Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, let's start. Okay,
It
so
could be fun.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. We have this will be the third season of AHL. We're gonna rank every Division 2 players. There's a tier list here. We're gonna have 7 different tiers. Too good for D2, impressive, average Joe, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, overrated, plays better than AFK, and D3 bench warmer. So start with the first one. So Maguire, and go with Duck.
Maguire. You know my answer already. I'm gonna go for. Let's be more realistic. I'm gonna go for impressive. Harry Maguire.
Impressive.
A little bit too high for his technical ability, but I think the times when he's on the pitch, the team is refreshing, and you can see the difference between the team with Maguire and the team without Maguire. So I think this tier is not just based on ability, but also the impact to the game. So I'll say Maguire will be somewhere between impressive and average.
I think I agree because I think Maguire probably of all the players is one of the one of those to really shock us. To be fair, I didn't really expect him to really create much of an impact, but he actually, as a captain, really pulled a lot of weight. He was quite impactful every time he was playing, and I think he thoroughly deserved to be in this tier.
I definitely agree. Yeah, I think you guys underrated his technical ability a bit. Actually, I think he's really improved a lot. I think impressive described his performance really well.
Other than the red card.
What is that?
Other than the red card, if he doesn't have that red card, then maybe Chanel has a chance.
Okay, go to the next player. So K Truck B. You can
Wow.
go with Lolly.
My turn?
Yeah.
I don't know, because we only saw him for half a season, and he decided he wanted to retire, and then he wanted to come back, and then he couldn't. So I don't know. Maybe sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Well. Okay.
Well, he was good for like 2 weeks, and then he's gone.
Actually, looking back, I'm not sure whether we should probably just change this. I think this overrated might be a little bit. It doesn't really feel. Just change this back to disappointing. This is what we both went for. Then
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm putting him in that. I'm putting K-Trap C in disappointing.
Yeah.
I think the most remarkable issue with K-Trap is its retirement. Then I couldn't think of any others regarding his performance in the game. So
I agree.
yeah, I will agree with all options selected.
Right. So next we have Optimus. Right.
Yeah.
This is pretty obvious, right? I really feel that this is a very easy rating. Definitely too good for D2. I think he's the biggest carry of Chanel. I would think it would be disrespectful to give Optimus any tier other than too good for D2. What do y'all think?
Actually, I wouldn't put him there. Actually, I think if you look back at his performances, yeah, he's definitely like a really good player. But I think he makes a lot of mistakes as well. If you look at Chanel's performances. It's a little hard to rate because his actual performances is a little disappointing in my opinion. I don't know if I'm being overly harsh on him, but his technical ability, his know-how, and expert ability definitely better, like too good for D2. So like I would put him in impressive among us.
Yeah, to be honest, I agree with that because sometimes you can say that he's trying to do a lot of things, and sometimes he's capable of doing so, but sometimes he's not. But it is not because of his ability, but also because of teammates, which affects how he's playing in the game. So, of course, he is a player which is too good for D2, but if we are considering his performances, I think it is not a man of the match every time. So I think, yeah, I agree with Lolly's perception of putting him into the impressive category.
Perhaps in another team he might be performing better, but let's say if we are just assessing based on his performance with this team, then I guess I think impressive I guess would be I'm actually happy to downgrade him to impressive for this matter.
Yeah, but of course literally he's too good for D2.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll just put him ahead of Maguire in the impressive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the next player we have is PXN. And then this is for Duxton.
I think it is a green category. Sometimes good, but sometimes not that impressive. Which is I would say my description of PXN, because from the stats you can see he scored goals and assists, but sometimes I think I remember his plays are not that great in some particular moments, but I do rate him in some of the matches I remember as the MVP or some of the top 3 players, but I would say I'm comfortable with putting him into this category.
But I do think that it's more appropriate to put him in average Joe, because this middle category is is kind of implying that there's the idea of inconsistency in the.
Is this a one-on category?
You just gave a very big spoiler. Well,
Okay.
yeah, it's about inconsistency. So I mean, if going by your description, I guess PXN is probably more average.
I think it's yellow and green, something like that. So I think if saying that if one-on is the type of player to be put in the category green, then I think PXN should fit into the yellow one.
Yeah, and I do believe that rank the tiers in this way, because definitely we would rather have average player compared to like inconsistent players, right?
Yeah.
So how about you, Lolly, on PXN?
I agree. Average though.
It's pretty straightforward. Right, next it's Bobby.
My turn, right? Actually pronounced booby.
Boobies.
Yeah.
I would put him in disappointing.
Disappointing? Okay.
Because I'm a big fan of Petan. Disappointing. It's he started off in week 1 or week 2, playing I think half of each games, and they conceded a lot of goals. That's all I remember from him. I think he just disappeared towards the end, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe he didn't play. He showed up and didn't play or something.
I feel he's maybe on the disappointing side. Yeah, you agree. What's your evaluation again? Which tier does it belong in?
Yeah, disappointing.
Right. Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I mean, I've seen him, start games. He first make his appearance in D2, if I'm not. Season 2, with your team actually, Prison FC, and I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I honestly don't really think he has really made that much of an improvement since then. I mean, it could be down to the fact that he has almost always played as a goalkeeper in league, and doesn't really have a lot of exposure in the midfield or as a forward. So in terms of that, his technical ability is pretty limited, and I don't think his reading of the game has improved since then. Yeah, so I'm also agree that he's gonna be put under disappointing. But definitely I can't put him under it's too harsh for the purple.
Yeah.
No comments from me. I haven't seen him play that much. I only saw him play like 1 or 2 match as a goalkeeper. I'm not sure how many game time he had. But
28. So that's
yeah,
4 halves or two games. Two
yeah.
full
I don't
games.
remember naming him as the best 3 players in the matches. So
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Next we have Party. This one's an interesting pick.
oh, Party.
I honestly want to say it is a very tough pick between average and impressive. Whenever he played up front, they usually concede quite a bit, but when he's playing in goal, you somehow get a feeling that Chanel is a lot more secure because his reading of the game is a lot better than the other players that have goalkeeper. Other than with the exception of Optimus, of course. I feel like I will put him. I might put him. I'm probably gonna put him in average Joe, but I'll put him above PXN over here.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a player that's improved quite a bit throughout the season. I think he started off making a few mistakes as well, but towards the end, he's really become really solid.
Yeah.
No particular comments again. I would say I don't remember him doing something very outrageous but I think he did not make any errors in his plays too from my memory. So I would say average sounds good.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Next player. Caramel. We have not seen him a lot
Caramel.
in D2. Well, but just to give the background, he's only had slightly less than 25 minutes of game time.
Caramel.
Within this short period of time, he has scored a goal and provided 2 assists.
Oh. I think this is more like average or impressive considering his stats, but I'm not sure. Maybe if he plays more, there could be a more solid conclusion of him, but he didn't play that much. As you said, is it only 1 or 2 matches or 2 or 3 matches?
Less than 2 full matches, I guess.
Oh. Yeah, I remember. But then from my memory, I saw him playing in some of the matches which I need to rank, but I think it would be safe to say that he's done average, but if he did have the opportunity to play more, then with his quality, I think we could expect something impressive from him. I'm not sure.
Then we'll go to the next one. Rodrigo. It's for
Rodrigo. My turn, right?
Sorry?
My turn?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely impressive. Really good player. I think probably Chanel's second best player after Optimus. Yeah, really good. Yeah. Technical ability, as well as just being a really all-round good teammate. Yeah.
I have
Probably bordering too good for D2, but I'll put him in impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have some views on him because I know he's good, but sometimes I'm not sure whether Doug will have the same opinion. But for the matches that we have commented together, sometimes Rodrigo seems to his decision making sometimes is a little bit questionable.
Yeah, I agree. I think considering that he scored that much goal, I think it is good to say that he is quite impressive for the team. But I remember when we are watching him in a full 40-minute game, he did make some errors. So I think he made up for it with his goals. But if we are looking at him every minute, then I think that the ranking of impressive seems questionable sometimes. But of course, he scored like 5 or 6 goals. I'm not sure. I think this is the attacking outlet of the team. So
Yeah,
I couldn't say that he's an average, but I think impressive is okay, but also questionable. I would say.
Yeah, I guess. Or maybe we can put him in. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Oh yeah.
Because He is sometimes very good.
I think on his days he scores like 2 or 3 goals a game. I remember that he scores 2
Yeah.
in a match. I'm not sure, but sometimes he did make some mistakes in missing some easy 2 first runs that I remember.
Right. Okay. So yeah, this is for Rodrigo. I actually kind of agree. So we're gonna agree that he's more of an inconsistent player. So you just need to probably just what's that word? Probably.
Yeah, but he has a high ceiling, I would say.
Yeah, and he has a lot of potential. You're just gonna need to
Yeah.
improve on his decision making. Yep. The next player, Jotaro. Oh, this is not.
Jotaro. Okay.
This is not an easy decision as well because
Yeah.
he's only played for 35 minutes. That is
Yeah.
equivalent of 5 halves.
Oh.
Yeah, 5.
I think he's yelling at the bench.
I
Yeah,
still
he's-
remember his super sub performance against Redrum.
Just stop waiting
Come
on
The comeback. Yeah.
I would say he's in average. I guess he's definitely no. I don't think his season has been a disappointing one. He's just not have given enough opportunity to really shine and really make a lot of contributions. But when he's on the pitch, he's actually, you can feel his impact when every time he gets brought onto the pitch. That's my opinion. I'm gonna put him in average.
I say I couldn't 100% agree that he has been average, but every time he showed up, and I think there happened to be some errors from him, which he messed up, and other times I think he did perform average or I would say solid. So I would say if there's a tier called average or sometimes shit, then I'm gonna definitely put him in.
Right. Okay. And then Lollipop.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would put him above Caramel. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that then. Right. This
Did
is
he
why-
score any goals?
He did actually.
It did. He destroyed Redrum. Yeah. The
Good.
game that Vanon decided to sub on D3
Untitled.
benchwarmers.
Oh,
Yeah. And then
I
conceded.
forgot that game. Oh, okay. Oh, 2 goals,
2 goals in one.
but
All of
1
them
on
scored.
goals.
Two of his goals against Redrum, right? That was
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
Yep.
So he murdered Redrum.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Friendly fire against his Thai teammates. Yeah. Okay. Our next player would be Mystic. Okay. This is for
Wow.
this is for Duck. Yep.
For me, okay. I'm gonna say because I don't know. I'm not sure if you guys are the same, but when you are when someone when you're trying to remember someone, you only remember his bad appearances. So for Mystic, I only remember that Donald Trump is yelling at him, "Don't cross the middle, Mystic. You are passing the ball to the opponent." Blah 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 blah. So I think I'm gonna try something new by putting him into the purple or the blue category. I'll say disappointing first, but there could be potential of putting him into the plays better and AFK category. But I think as a person, he is a very dedicated person to the game, but his performances this season has not been that great.
Yeah, I'm just gonna preface it by saying I don't hate him as a person. I think he's a good kid, but performance-wise, I would put him. Oh, it's a bit tough to decide which one is worse. The last two. I think it's applicable for him for Boom. I would put him in the plays better when AFK.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I'm 50% this one and 50% disappointing for me, so
Yeah. I mean,
Singaporean.
Oh, he's Malaysian, so
Oh, sorry.
yeah, it's technically my neighbor, but my honest opinion on him, I mean, he's respectable in his game ethics and all that, but his game decisions, not only like in on the pitch but also off the pitch. I mean, firstly, I mean his first impression that he gave everyone is to bid 65 coins for Josh.
Exactly,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what was he thinking and stuff. Who is
It
going
was
to bid 3 times worth of a player to on Josh? That's the first thing that he gave us. Or second is the way he plays on the pitch. I actually think that he has the potential to play well based on how he positions himself, but maybe sometimes his fingers are a little bit too trigger happy. He just he just decides to X the ball whenever he touches it. So sometimes you instead of seeing him clear the ball, he's just kicking the ball back to his teammates in the corner, like putting his own teammates under pressure. So just based on that alone, I'm probably gonna leave him there too. But we probably should see him improve soon, because definitely after every season we can expect players to mature a little and get better at it. Yeah, Mystic, you can definitely do a lot better. Get someone good to guide you, please. Please stop making dumb decisions on your own. Consult someone before you make any decisions if you are not sure. Thanks.
And let's just say this, that I don't think he's the worst player on his team.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, we have a few interesting picks coming up next. Mendy.
Mendy did play. I don't remember.
Yep, he was signed by Violent Kingdom in the during the free street mid-season draft. Yep. So he signed up and he actually played quite some game for them. Let me check his stats. Yeah, Mendy, he played 3 halves in total, because I mean free agents mid-season participants they get at most 4 games, because their first appearance will be in match week 4, right? So match week 4 2 games, match week 5 another 2 games, so maybe a maximum of 56 minutes. You have played 21 minutes of them. I don't think he appeared in the final match week, so we only got to see him play 3 halves in match week 4. So right. Yup.
This is my turn, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah, I would put him in impressive. I think when he joined Violent Kingdom, they looked visibly more solid. I think they kept a few clean sheets with him as well. Him and Mitsuki, they teamed up well. And yeah, Mendy's the OG player from season 1. And he's a really solid GK.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I think impressive to see him.
And yeah, he was actually in the Division 1 team actually in season 1. It's just that I think he stopped playing. Oh no, actually he played in season 2 as well, right? He played in season 2 for Wanon's team for Critical.
That's a mid-season draft as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he was a little bit rusty, and if we have to take into account Violent Kingdom's results in match week 4, they had a draw against Chanel, and they lost 3-1 against Gyamba Osaka. But well, it's Gyamba Osaka, so it might be a little bit unfair for Mendy in that sense. But given the limited time that he played, I feel in my opinion, I would put him in average, but I'll put him in a higher tier, like higher up, maybe in front or behind Party. That's my opinion. Duck?
Yeah, I agree with Casey on this, because I always think that if you are a good player, then you should play more, and which justifies your ranking of an impressive player. So I think everyone knows Mendy is a very, very good keeper, but at this particular season, he's not playing that much. So I think even though we know that he's good, it would be more reasonable to, I would say, in my opinion, to put him in the average ranking first, and let's see in the next season if he has more game time. And I think definitely everyone will agree he's gonna go to the impressive ranking.
Now next one we have Donald Trump. Donald Trump I feel like he's really impressive. Like I think any team that actually acquires Donald Trump is a really really good asset. Like what Doug's mentioned in preseason review and also the mid-season review, he is a player that's doesn't really rely a lot on, let's say, skills or technical abilities, but his reading of the game and understanding of like when to understanding defensive understanding is really really solid. I think he will make a very good defensive unit in any team he plays for, and he has done well, I think, for Violin Kingdom. 2 goals and 3 assists, and one of them, I think, second highest minutes played for the team. I think he's a really good asset for Violin Kingdom. I'll definitely put him impressive. How about you two?
I agree. Yeah, I think like Mendy as well. He's a really well liked player, good leader of the team, and yeah, just a solid player, consistent. Yeah, so I would put him in impressive.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think some of his goals or assists are crucial to the match. I remember. I think it is a 2-3. I forgot which match. I think the last goal was Donald Trump.
Oh, you mean the comeback against Royal Academy?
Yeah.
2-3?
Is it his goal? I'm not sure, but I think he definitely made his mark in some of the important games. They're trying to keep up the hope of the team. So I think he has been impressive to the team.
Also, if you have noticed, not only it's just not only his in-game involvement, but also on his team morale. He has also, I think in general with Mystic, he's also sometimes just giving advice to his captain on what to do and what not to do, even in the middle of the match. Maybe let's say there's a
So
pause.
Mystic is captain.
Yes, Mystic is the captain.
Tough.
Yeah, so he has been giving
Okay.
advice to Mystic. Trying to guide him, let him know like what is suitable and what's not. And you realize that every time Donald Trump plays and takes the middle of the sticks to the middle of his team's formation, he actually plays very well. His team in general plays very very good defense and very disciplined defense. So impressive for me. We really hope to see that he captain the team sometime, so maybe next season. Next would be Liam. Liam would be for Duck.
Oh, okay. Disappointing. There's nothing more. I think it is. Yeah, I think disappointing not just in terms of his plays, but also in terms of him quitting the league at the middle of where Violin Kingdom is suffering. So I think disappointing in both ways for me.
Yep, I agree. Disappointing in every.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to really say. I feel like Liam, he is a really good. He could be a very good player, but all of us know that he uses macro during the league, and he couldn't adjust to the 600 kick rate limit. So it feels weird that someone that is perceived to be as good as Liam's player, how Liam is, especially with his involvement in SPHB, that just a simple macro regulation could just completely destroy his sense of the game and confidence in his team. I think that he should have maybe set a better example for the younger players here, and the fact that he left there early is just nothing short of disappointing for me. I mean, I like him. It's not that I dislike him, but he could have done. He just do better. Athletic, right?
Athletic, average. Yeah. I don't remember much of him actually. I think he showed up to a lot of games, and he plays. Let's check the stats.
Just
He
for-
played less than Liam, just 25 minutes.
Mhm.
So yeah, judging from that, maybe disappointing even.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I remember the games that he played. He never seemed to be comfortable with his teammates and comfortable to play in general. I'll actually I'll be inclined to actually put him in disappointing as well. I'm not sure if Kasumi have any impression of who this player is.
Yeah, I think he disappeared together with Liam. I'm not sure seeing him in the later stage of the league. So yeah, more like average or disappointing, and both would be okay for me.
Right. Okay. This one I'm just gonna keep it there. Next player. Josh. This is an interesting one. All right, Josh. I'll put it in average just because I mean his performance hasn't we can agree that he hasn't played bad for his team, and he's not really much of an inconsistent player in that sense for at least for this season. So I'll have to put him in. He's pretty average for me this season in my opinion. I mean you would definitely expect a player that a captain spent 65 coins on to actually perform, but he did put in a goal and an assist, and he was sometimes also involved in a few important goals for Violent Kingdom. I'll still put him under average. What about you two?
I think if we talk about his price tag compared to his performances, it's disappointing. But I don't think it's fair for us to rate him on his price. I mean, he didn't draft himself, so I think average is a good
Yeah,
tier
same
for
for
him.
me. Same for me. Average.
Okay, right then we just hop on to the next one. Mitsuki for Duck.
Wow, Mitsuki. Too good for D2.
Really?
Yes.
I actually think he has a case for this, to be honest. He has done really well. Very, very good keeper for
Yeah.
Violent Kingdom. And despite
Yeah, I think
their fifth
this
place
is
finishes, he has made countless of saves for his team, and also actually created some goals, right?
yeah. I think
a lot of
what we
2v1s.
could expect from him later on in the next season, or not sure. I think he is also a good player at the midfield position. He's not just a good keeper, but he also distributes the ball well. So I think we could expect something big from this great raw of Thailand, as claimed by Lollipop.
Yeah. I think he's too good for D2. I mean, if you put him in like the top teams, like Redrum, for example, he would instantly be their best player.
I agree.
Yeah.
And come to think of it, Redrum probably is missing a key player like him in goal actually. Because Mitsuki is I mean,
Yes.
like especially when he's playing for a team that is severely underperforming, he has put up solid performance almost every single week. So yeah, his performance kind of actually shocked me quite a bit. I didn't think he would be so dominant in defense, but the fact that his teammates' defense sometimes has probably let him down. He sometimes deserves a little bit more protection from his with his teammates from the opponent. But bar that, he has really performed beyond our expectations of a D2 player, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's Mitsuki. This is our first too good for D2 player. And he thoroughly deserved it, I feel. Our favorite, Oval. Lollipop.
Oh, my turn. Okay.
Yeah.
No question is below Mystic. Whatever Mystic is below Mystic. Yeah.
In the same tier or even lower?
Below D3 bench warmer. Yeah, I mean his biggest contribution is his shot against who was it? His shot to the corner. Yeah, and then he also got like 3 yellow cards and got suspended.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay,
um,
I agree with
yeah.
that. Actually, we didn't really see much, and when he plays, he really didn't do anything. To be fair. Well, I mean, I said that, but he actually got an assist though. He actually made
Oh,
an assist with that
What?
17 minutes that he played.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
I mean, so did Mystic.
yeah, I
It's
think
69
overall,
minutes. Nice.
if you hear this, that
And
you
yeah,
have much to improve, and we expect your improvement
and
in
yeah,
the later seasons. But our first D3 bench warmer of tonight, I'm
yeah,
not sure whether there will be more, but it
yeah.
seems accounting for his overall performance, and I think it is quite justified.
Okay. Then next one we have Teddy, which has
Eddie,
we have you might have no recollection of him, but it's normal because he hasn't
yes,
made a single
exactly.
minute. But
Oh,
just based on he has not played at all, and then he has not appeared a single game for Violent Kingdom. So based on that, I'm not sure whether we should just remove him from this tier
okay,
list or just
okay.
put him
Yeah,
in.
Yeah, he
yeah,
didn't
we
play.
can just remove it.
Okay.
Oh, actually, he played with AFK.
Yeah. What do you mean? Kyle. Oh wow, Kyle.
Whoa, wow.
Thoughts? This is for who
For
is this
you,
for again? For me.
yeah.
Kyle, uh, I definitely gonna put him under impressive. I have a few moments where I thought that I was considering whether I should put him in the top tier, but I think he is actually very creative, but I'm not sure whether he is as good as a team player in that sense because he's not the kind of player to defend collectively with his team. But when he's playing forward on his own, he's actually created a lot of magic and scored a few clutch goals for Violent Kingdom as well. So based on that, I'm actually gonna give him a pretty high impressive. I don't think he is too good for D2 just yet, but in a season or two, we probably could even see him playing, being a respectable, a player that's given a certain level of respect in D1 maybe. But for this season, I'm gonna give him a high impressive for now.
Yeah, I agree that he scores not only clutch goals but also some very impressive goals, as I remember. So I think how many goals did he score?
6 goals.
6 goals. Wow, that's impressive. To be honest,
Yep.
in 10 matches.
Yeah, he is
So
his team's top scorer as well.
yeah, considering that there would be no creativity in Violent Kingdom as we expected in preseason, scoring 6 goals is quite impressive, and in the middle there are some clutch goals and some very beautiful goals. So I think impressive is a very good description of his performances in D2 this season.
Um, yeah, I think I would put him in impressive as well. But I think there's a case for sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit as well. Because when this team's defending, he's basically a liability. He doesn't really defend. And yeah, I think he caused some of the goals. We can concede it. Yeah, but in as like a season top scorer, definitely impressive. Yeah.
Alright. Okay. Then we'll go on to the next one. Todd. This is for Duck.
I don't remember him playing.
The only thing we remembered is he just I think
I
he
am
rage
not
quitted.
sure.
He rage quitted Violent Kingdom after he got subbed off by Mystic. I think within like
Really?
20 or 30 seconds in. Yeah, he literally just left the room and quitted his team server. That was all I remember from Todd.
But he
was only-
scored 1 goal, so
But
uh,
yeah, he did score one, but yeah,
let's put him disappointing. Not because of his impact, but because of his action of rage quitting the game. Yeah, I would say disappointing.
yeah, I don't think there's much to say about this player actually. But I mean, I feel if I have to be very honest, I will actually think I will put him in D3 bench warmer mainly because of his attitude. Because I mean, he's too rash as a player. Even though he scored a goal, and I know that. I mean, even Ovo scored assisted a goal. So you could think that with his current attitude, I don't think he might be even be fielding for a Division 3 team if any captain picks him, in my opinion. How about you, Lolly?
I would actually put him in after Mystic, better than when AFK. I think it sums up that Mystic sucked him off after 35 seconds, and he's actually justified to do that. So, yeah,
Yeah, actually.
I would put him in better when AFK, or better when not in the team. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, right. That's Duck's initial disappointing rating overruled. So next
Sure.
one. We have come to Crazy Gang now. Roy Keane.
Oh,
And
Lollipop.
for me,
Yeah.
Impressive. Impressive. Almost too good for D2. I mean, he's just a really solid player today.
He's a tank, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a tank. Yeah, Casemiro.
Would you put
Or
him
Roy
above,
Keane.
would
Roy
you put him
Keane.
above
Yeah.
Kyle?
Yes. Yep. I think he's the backbone of the team. A really good leader. I think if he plays more, he'll definitely be a D1 tier player.
Yeah, but I guess partially also because of he's a very selfless captain as well. He's given almost everyone a really good distribution of game time. None of the players, almost all of the players, maybe let's say with the exception of Winter, has at least 20 minutes of game time. So yeah, and you can actually it's actually even more incredible when you look at its entire team, because all of their team have a record in at least a goal, assist, or clean sheet there.
Nice.
Yeah, Dioza,
Yeah,
even
and-
though he has not made a single goal assist, he has four clean sheets. That's very impressive for Crazy Gang. It's the only team that maybe other than maybe Gyamba Osaka that I would say that is a pretty solid team overall. Thanks to Roy Keane's captaincy as well. So definitely impressive, both as a player and as a leader. Yep.
yeah, I think he's like the Donald Trump of Crazy Game, but in a much more influential way on the pitch. I think his defensive actions and sometimes his box-to-box movements has been creating goals and some important blocks for the team. So I think it's definitely very impressive for Crazy Gang, which I think he has made majority of contribution in Crazy Gang's going back to the playoffs. Yeah,
Promotion
I
players.
think this has been very crucial for Crazy Gang's re-engagement with the playoffs. So I think impressive is well justified.
Keane. Next one we have Coutinho.
Oh,
Coutinho, this is my turn, right? So Coutinho, I'm actually gonna put him under disappointing because of the lack of game time he has been having. I mean, he had scored a goal, but the games that he were involved in, it often seemed like he was never comfortable trying to deal with the ball or controlling the ball, and I never felt that he was comfortable playing alongside with his teammates. So maybe it could be down to lack of game time, like he didn't spend enough time playing with his team, and just lacking that chemistry with his teammates. I'm just gonna put him on disappointing for this one.
yeah, I think I also talked about Coutinho on the mid-season review. I think it has been quite disappointing for Coutinho. How many game times does he has? Let me check.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah, 3-0.
If we are gonna allocate this 30 minutes to Muffin, then Crazy Gang would probably be scoring much more goals. So I think disappointing is, a good claim.
Right. So this is
Yeah, I think if there's a tier for like D3 starter, I think he would be in there. I think D2 is too much for him, ability wise, but he can definitely improve. Yeah.
Right. Okay, next one, winter. For Duck.
Well, for me, winter, I think it's just something like sometimes good or sometimes shit. I don't remember that much about winter, but I think he plays at a defensive position, as I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, I think sometimes I saw his name, but he hasn't really been like the standouts for the team. So I'd say it should be these categories. So what do you guys think?
I agree. I think he's sometimes pretty good, sometimes shit. I think Rodrigo is definitely much better than him. Like Rodrigo's shit is better than Winter's shit. But yeah, I think he belongs to that category as well.
Yeah, I think Rodrigo's shit is more like nervous or some disappointing actions, but Winter's shit is like shit. I'm not sure because we haven't seen much of Winter, but we haven't seen much of Rodrigo, so we can make this claim.
Maxi.
Yep. I think he's in average. Yeah. I think when he originally signed up, he's supposed to be a goalkeeper. But I think Dilsa has taken that role. And Maxi became a forward. And to be honest to him, he did quite well in one of the games I remember. Yeah, he had some really nice shots that should have gone in and would have been that goal of the season. And other than that, I think he missed the first 2 weeks, fortunately. But yeah, he's improved quite a bit, if I'm honest. And I think he's a really solid player now. So average, I think, is good tier for him.
Yep. For me, I don't have much complaints with Lolly's analysis of Maxi's performance.
Yeah, I think he plays much better as compared to what I've seen him playing in like 1 or 2 years ago. So he has been much more reliable, I would say. Well, technically he's not that at a D1 level, but I think he's much more reliable than before. So this is definitely much improvement from Maxi. So I think average is good, but we could expect something more from Maxi next station. Let's see.
Dilsa, this is my turn. But definitely impressive. Has been a very solid goalkeeper, and probably the same as what Doug has always mentioned about Dilsa in during the season on commentary and also on mid-season review. I think he's a very reliable and solid goalkeeper. 4 clean sheets too. I think he's second in the Golden Boot race. I think runner up for the Golden Glove. Sorry, yeah. So and actually probably gonna put him a little bit higher, maybe even beyond Optimus. Yeah, because he's. I mean, if really there's really one word to describe him, is just reliable and sometimes even creative, because he's experienced enough to try to spot some gaps in the middle and make a creative pass to start a counter attack. Kind of like Mitsuki, but how do I put it? More down to earth player, is what I was gonna say. Yep.
Yeah, I think more safer approach to the game. For Dilsa, I think he's my teammate last season. Yeah, for AHL Division 1 actually, and yeah, he was actually a starter for the team for most parts. Yeah, and not the final, but in the regular season, and he did really well. Like he's a really solid player, solid goalkeeper. Really experienced. knows when to put the ball in the corner. But I think he's a bit handicapped by the ping as well. I think I haven't played with him in Australia. When he plays with low ping, his positioning is elite, so he really knows how to position himself. He got caught out a few times. I think by Carl. I remember one goal in particular. After like 6 seconds, he conceded. But yeah, I think with a low ping, he'll definitely keep even more clean sheets. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think he has denied, like in a game, he's denied Softy like a few times with some very impressive saves. So yeah, first I'm
Yeah.
going to rank him as too good for D2, but I do remember that there are some 1 or 2 shaky performances and some cheap goals are being scored against him. So his season is definitely impressive, and I think this is well justified too.
Yeah. I think he made like so many saves against Softy. Softy ended up taking it out on Killian, which got himself banned. So well done, Dosa. Yeah.
We can move on to Zach.
Osaka. I think, this is hard. I think this is more like average. I'm not sure about Zach because I remember that in some of the previous seasons, Zach is quite good in some sense that he scores quite a lot of goals. But this season, I think is over by Kyle. So I'm not sure whether average is an appropriate ranking, but I would say as compared to other players in Violent Kingdom, he hasn't been that impressive as compared to what we expect. So I think average.
Sorry, Violent Kingdom? Or did
Yeah, Violent Kingdom. Yeah. So I think average.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree. But I do feel like if Zach has given more game time by Roy Keane, I think he would be probably impressive. He will probably be scoring a lot more goals than that, because from what I remember of Zach, his attacking instinct in the sense of, let's say, positioning or knowing when to actually move up front for a pass or for a counter attack is actually really, really good. And the fact that he hasn't been given that much of a game time kind of makes his stats just his stats look a little bit underwhelming. But yeah, based on that, I'm probably gonna put him at average. But I'm pretty sure if given, let's say he's a starter or regular starter for Crazy Gang, he'll probably be impressive. That's my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, I think he had an average season, but he can definitely be in the impressive tier. I think if he plays more in general, I don't think he plays much outside of league either. So yeah, I think average is right for him. Yeah.
Muffin. This is for Lollipop.
Muffin. This is a tough one. He's sometimes too good for D2. Like, he's sometimes the best player in D2, but he's also sometimes not so good. Yeah, so sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I think one criticism of him is maybe he's quite wasteful in front of goal.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but in general, his play style, his skills, his vision of the game is top notch. Yeah, but yeah, also sometimes a little inconsistent. Yeah.
Completely agree on my end. I don't think there's a better way to describe how he plays than how Lollipop has mentioned. I do feel like while he's a really good technical player, he's a pretty technically gifted player, I think that he lacks the experience to understand what his teammates want to do and how his teammates wants to play. So I mentioned this quite a bit in the semi-finals, because I think Muffin's set 3 performance was really poor. not that because he made a lot of mistakes, but he tried to force a lot of passing plays with the defense when when Dilza is clearly uncomfortable with how Muffin is playing. I think that his inability to observe that really puts him in that inconsistent tier, which is sometimes very good, sometimes maybe just underwhelming. Yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I thought you guys are gonna rank him as an impressive rank, but I do agree that sometimes his plays are not easily understandable, and of course he's very very good.
I think a bit, yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, but I think ability-wise is better than everyone.
Yeah. I think it's just like how he wants to play or how he's gonna cope with the teammates. Because sometimes he's holding on the ball too long, and sometimes he is not making that much of defensive contribution to the team. But you can see him scoring some of the best goals in the league this season. So I think if there could be an rank called sometimes impressive but sometimes not good, then I think Muffin is definitely there.
So next we have Killian. He has, I feel the games that he has played in, he has sometimes seen pretty impressive, and especially when partnered with a player like Muffin. But he has usually been a defensive liability because of his reluctance to defend when in corners, especially. You can usually see him trying to push up higher, just forcing the team to play in 3 depth, and sometimes I think Kin usually feels very, very uncomfortable with that. And I'm gonna actually put him in average. He hasn't made a lot of mistakes. He hasn't been inconsistent, but it would have been a lot better if he were to be a better team player. So that's my opinion based on that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to mimic his namesake, real life Kylian Mbappe. It is defensive approach, but I think he had an average season. I think maybe sometimes we should, because I remember him putting in some impressive performances, but also I think one particular game against with VK, he misses a lot of chances.
Oh,
so, yeah,
you have a point there.
I think a very low average for me. I think I don't remember that. I mean he's missed shots against Mitsuki, but from my perspective, I think both are okay for me. But I think the shit comes from not his technical ability, but the shit comes from his inability. I'm not sure, unwillingness to defend. So I'm not sure whether this is considered shit, but this is more like a team play or team style. We never know. Like maybe Rocky instructed team to do so. I'm not sure. So I think I'm more inclined to say he's a stable player. He's a consistent player. But I think if we're talking about that, if he is shit because he did not score against Mitsuki, then I think it's just not that shit, to be honest, because Mitsuki is a very, very good player. So I think I'm more inclined to say he's an average player, but he needs to improve on his defensive plays and should take. So
yeah, I'm actually I'm with Doug on this one. So for that, I think we'll just leave Killian in average. Panda. This is
interesting.
Yes, I'm going. This is for Doug now, I think. Yep.
For me. Well, I think he definitely makes some very, very good performances where our decision for man of the match in some games are quite unanimous. But I think we also saw him not helping out the team in some instances. So Like sometimes when Maxi is on, he's not Panda is not defending, and that leaves only Dilsa and Keen at the back, or whoever that is. So I think he has made some very good performances, but I'm not sure. I think this is a little bit hard to decide. I'll say impressive, or maybe sometimes good, or maybe sometimes shit. Somewhere but in between.
Well, I mean, it's notable to understand that Panda is also a mid-season participant. He's just started
Okay.
in match week 4 as well. So I think if we are talking only from the regular season, I think he's pretty impressive. But this is going to be, we're going to take into account the promotion playoffs as well. And for that, I think Panda didn't, in my opinion, didn't have a good game at all in the playoffs because of I think it came down to some confusion with in defense with his team, and I think everyone expected him to actually to be playing better than that based on how he have performed in a regular season. So for that, I'm actually gonna think that he's put him in this inconsistent tier because there is a level of uncertainty that he has done well in regular season, but he's unable to replicate that in promotion playoffs. So my case for Panda would be inconsistent. Sometimes
for me, I think he's quite impressive. I think his performances in the regular season is really good. I don't remember him being bad in the playoffs. Maybe just a bit mentally weak when the team's chasing the lead, not doing so well. But his performance, I think, is really impressive. Like especially when in week 4, I think it's one of the most dominant performance in the whole season. Everyone.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think let's just keep it here. Green ranking.
Yeah, I think it's also fair.
Yeah.
Put him there.
So next one would be Deck.
Deck. Deck, he didn't play a lot in the regular season despite being captain. I think it was mainly Ninja running things. But I'm inclined to put him towards a disappointing. I think a player of his ability should have done much better. Yeah, I can't speak much about his regular season performances because he didn't play much at all. But his performance in the final game against Redrum was pretty disappointing, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And we did remember when he left. This it's quite it's not nice to see. But when he left the team, I think Royal Academy just scored 3 goals in like the first minute or something against Redrum. I don't want to use impact, but I agree that maybe because he hasn't been playing much with his team and there's a lack of understanding between the players there. But I don't just based on the fact that there wasn't a lot of commitment from Deck as a captain, I would definitely just leave him in disappointing as for Deck. Next one, Ninja Rua. Oh, this is a hot take. I really want to put him in too good for D2 because he really stepped up. Like I know he doesn't have the that his stats doesn't really look very impressive on paper, but I think a lot of people underestimate his role as a defensive midfield player, and he has been. It's kind of similar to the impact Roy Keane has on his team, but Ninja Rua has really tanked a lot of defensive duties for Royal Academy, and has really been very creative as a player as well. And I think he's improved a lot from where he started off and from what I've remembered of playing with him. So I'm really inclined to put him at high impressive or yeah, probably just leave it impressive. He could have there's some pointers where he could maybe improve on, but yeah, I'll leave him in high impressive. What are your takes on this?
I agree with impressive, but I don't think he's anywhere near the top tier yet. I think he's maybe in the middle, like maybe after Optimus would be where I would put him. Yeah, I think he's a good player. He's positionally really strong, understands the game well, but he needs to improve on his technical ability. So, I mean, the team needs him to step up to create some chances. I think he can do better there.
Tune, you're just gonna have to put in disappointing.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah. De Gea again. Well, he has similarly just 7 minutes of game time.
Yeah, I would put him in disappointing. I mean, there's not much to say. Yep.
Right. Next, Rata. Right. Too good for D2. There's yeah, I'm gonna actually put him there because I mean okay, so there are some takes that that Rata hasn't been, you know, that helping. Okay, sorry, he's not very significant, let's say on the defensive side of Royal Academy's sorry, okay, let me rephrase that. So he hasn't really been, let's say, very significant in Royal Academy's defensive plans and defensive tactics, but as a forward, because Rata is definitely offensive minded player, is a forward, and it's not like he is like a cherry picking player. He also helps out with defense, but based on the fact that he's a forward, I think his technical abilities and creativity actually really enables his team to, you know, create a lot of chances, and he's got a lot of goals for his team as well, 9 goals and 2 assists for his team. And usually when you are having a one-on-one, let's say in a corner with another player in D2, he's usually the one that's dominating the wall controls. He's usually the one creating a lot of counter attacks for his teammates. So based on that, I'm inclined to put him in too good for D2, second player over there. But let's see if you have any disagreements with that.
Slightly. So I think I would put him in high impressive with a really high ceiling. But I think he actually helped up in defense a little bit. It's not like Killian who just with his defense, but can be a bit weak sometimes against strong players. So like maybe a bit careless is the best way to put it. I think if he improves, become more solid, and I think his technical ability will carry him very far.
Well, I mean, if we are talking about being an all-rounded player, based on that, maybe I would agree with you that he's probably maybe high impressive, but based on that, I'll put him here. But if we are analyzing these players based on their preferred position or their roles for their team, I think Rata has completely dominated D2 in especially in the offense portion. He's definitely one of the best players there, and could make a case for even like the most influential player as a attacking midfield. But if you're talking about being an all-rounded player and being flexible enough to adapt to changes in team tactics, then I would agree that he could have there is room for improvement for Rata. So just based on that, I'll settle for a high impressive for Rata as well. Next we have Nam Hai 2. Wow, his debut season.
For me, he's probably sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
This I have to agree with that.
Yeah, he's put in some impressive performances, but he's, I think, quite inexperienced, especially to the 4v4 Big Easy game mode. He makes like the same error repeatedly from my memory, and he hasn't improved as much as he could have during the season. So yeah, I think he belongs there.
Yeah, Softy. So for Softy, well, I mean he did get the ban. I mean it's just really silly, but other than the ban itself, I definitely impressive for me because top scorer for his team, 10 goals and 5 assists, and I would think that any D2 teams that are playing against him, the defenders, when they are facing Softy on the offense, they would be slightly nervous because of what he could do, and because of his poaching instinct, I don't think any team have a lot of room for error when they are handling the ball. So based on that, Softy has had quite a strong influence in for Royal Academy, and for that I'm gonna probably I will actually put him on a higher spectrum of impressive, maybe yeah, I guess above Ninja Rua over here. What about you?
I would put him in. I would actually put him in too good for D2.
Too good for
I think
D2.
I think he's a really clinical player. I think it reminds me a bit of Hobie. Yeah, he only needs one chance, or most of the time he needs one chance. So yeah, performance-wise, I would put him in too good for D2, but we'll never find that out.
But how about his defensive contributions to Royal Academy? Do you think he has done enough?
I mean, they defend in 4-def, and he contributed. He was there. And it's not like he just left his team to defend, but I don't think he did much defending. But yeah, I wouldn't like put that against him because he's like a forward.
How about what do you think? One extra thing actually I realized we've never mentioned this about mentioned much about this is his mindset or his attitude towards a mentality with his team and his teammates. Well,
I agree with that actually. Yeah, the 6-0 demolition by Redrum comes to mind. I mean, he just needs to blame his teammates for that game. Yeah, and they had no chance of coming back. Yeah, so I think based on that, I wouldn't put him into a good for D2. He's too mentally weak.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we do actually look out for maybe more. I mean, mentality is definitely something that we look after. I mean, based on that, we can actually agree that Roy Keane definitely deserves probably even maybe a higher standing actually, because we have seen throughout the season he has always been very, very encouraging of his teammates. He has shown confidence in every single one of his teammates, no matter whether they have played well or played bad. No matter how good they have played in the earlier season, he has placed his complete trust in the tactics that he has set for his team and the teammates they have assigned to execute that task. So maybe based on game maturity or maybe team maturity in that sense, Softy could definitely do a lot better. But as you said, we probably wouldn't really find that out.
Maybe even after Dilsa, maybe like below Dilsa.
So in the origin up just above Ninja Rua.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is for Softy. Cyborg next. Wow. Well, I mean, we've not seen Cyborg at all. Or rather, he's only played one game in for his team, but that game turned out to be a pretty influential one as well. A pretty dominant performance as well. 1 goal, 2 assists, and even half a clean sheet there. I don't know how he's managed to get so much of that within a single game. So, would you put it under impressive?
I would put him in high impressive.
High impressive.
Yeah, I think the only thing that was stopping him
game time
from being like one of the best players was his spiking and ping.
And the fact that he plays on the
ping. Yeah, of course, yes, definitely. Yeah, so impressive for me.
Right. Are you gonna any particular position that you think that he's gonna be in? I'm actually thinking maybe lower right here. Be above.
Maybe in between Software and India.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but we have seen him play in the playoffs in both semi-finals and the grand finals for the promotion playoffs, and I think Cyborg actually was really influential in both games. I mean, other than the handicap of playing with a bad gaming setup and maybe bad ping, but he has put in quite a few goals actually and assists for Royal Academy in those playoffs. So yeah, definitely when he gets a better gaming setup, we could probably expect him to be higher than that, much better than that.
I agree. Yeah, I think his performance in the final was really weird because I think he did well overall, but he kind of chokes in front of goal a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I remember one particular moment that he just took like 5 seconds
Yeah.
to shoot and misses eventually. Yeah.
Right.
High potential.
Okay, so next one, if we move on to Redrum, one on. This is no.
I know.
Yeah. But the question is where we're gonna put him. I believe one on is probably gonna be like the top list for this one. Not because he's like the best player. I think he's good. His level of good and his level of shit is really really wide apart. It's so inconsistent. Sometimes he really look like he's is too good for D2, and sometimes he plays like it's better with the team plays without him, in my opinion. And also his I think we mentioned about this in the mid-season review. His decision making as a captain as well, very questionable at times. But I think they eventually managed to pull through. Right? They did win the final promotion spot, D1 spot for Redrum, but overall one on's season as a whole could be just summed up as really inconsistent. This is really really I don't think there's any tier that could be more suitable for him.
Yep, completely agree. Yeah, I think his the goalkeeping decision is not suitable for him at all. He should look into changing his position.
Yep.
Yeah. Other than that, I agree with you completely.
Yep. Okay. Next, Donny.
I would also put him in sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. I think he hasn't turned up much actually, but he's a good player, like a good forward. He can do a lot of stuff, finish well, but just similar to one on that sometimes his game sense just a little bit off, and he just disappointing. But yeah, sometimes he can be really good as well. Not much to say about him because he hasn't shown up much. Yeah.
Likewise. Alright, next we have Soy. Well, Soy didn't really have a lot of game time in the regular season, but I think he put his weight in the playoffs. I feel like he would be an average Joe. With due respect, he doesn't really have the best technical ability, but I think as a player in general, he is still overall pretty reliable as a player to follow team tactics. After he was subbed on for Hoovy because Hoovy was facing some lag issues, and he transitioned pretty smoothly to the team, and the expectation they had of him. Maybe sometimes I remember there was a scenario where he overcommitted and gave Cyborg an easy open goal, but other than that, I think he's pretty average, and we could see him improve more if he had more game time, to be fair. Next we have Chatai. Well, how much did he play in regular season again?
I think he played quite a bit actually, 48 minutes.
48 minutes, right?
Across the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's showing up. He's been showing up to almost every single week, and he started the playoff games.
Yep.
And while he's not the best player. I think he's pretty impressive with how much he's improved from the first week to the final. I wouldn't put him in that tier just yet, but I would put him in high average.
High average, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think I feel I actually really respect Chatai, for the commitment he has, because yeah, like I think he knows that I mean every player would pretty aware of how good they are, like or rather what where they stand in among their peers. But I think for Chatai, he has always have been showing really good attitude to try to improve the way he plays, and even join scrims and training sessions. So I think in the playoffs he's done pretty well, in my opinion. He's even scored that clutch goal equalizer in the final set against Royal Academy. Probably his best.
Banger.
Yeah, I think it has to be one of his probably it's definitely he's gonna be his best goal for a while, and I don't think he would. I don't think he'll ever forget that goal. And Chatai, we would definitely see him improve a lot in future seasons, so we look forward to that. And next, Nani. Well, I actually didn't really see him play much, and I think it's even for the game that he played, I think it was in match week 4, where he I think he had a really disappointing season and disappointing 2 games in that in that 2 matches that he played for, because when he took the pitch, when he took onto the pitch, I think his team looked really disorganized, in my opinion. And you did mention, I think there was a screenshot of his team formation in the Crazy Gang game, which was quite atrocious. I remember. Did we talk about that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna put him in disappointing. I don't think there's much to be said about him because of his lack of appearance.
I think I'll put him in disappointing as well. I mean, and we knew beforehand that he wasn't going to show up much. I think they drafted him just to for him to help with his leadership and his off the pitch involvement, but he didn't really show that either. So I think disappointing is a good tier for him just for this season alone. But yeah, he's a very nice and respectable guy, and he's one of the most respectable guy in the whole Thai hexball scene. Yeah.
Okay, then next we have Rolly. Well, there isn't really much debate for this, right?
Yep. I'm putting him too good for D2. He's the MVP of this, the second place MVP of the season. He's just gone from strength to strength. From week 1 to the final, where he essentially carried the whole team after Hubi left the pitch. Yep, and mentally he's always showing up to training as well. He's defensively he pulled his weight, and offensively he's the top scorer. So there's not much to say about that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He's not only too good. He's not only too good for D2. Probably just gonna say he's too easy for D2. Next we have Huvi. Well, Huvi, I don't think there's again. Well, I mean he didn't really do. I mean his stats on paper doesn't really seem that impressive. But if you have observed his in-game plays, there's no doubt that he should be in this top tier. He's done so much for.
Well, I just got your comment for too easy for D2. You are so slow.
Inside joke, right?
That's a good one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, quite a polarizing player at times, but we'll save that drama for another time. And so Huvi, back to Huvi. Not too much debate as well. Probably one of the most technically gifted player, and one of the most seasoned players as well. You could see him even making a very significant having a very significant influence in D1. So I don't think there's any other tier that is that Hovi deserves to be in other than this one.
Yeah, I think if he fixes his lag issue,
Yeah.
then yeah, it's top player.
Well, lag didn't stop Hovi, did it?
Right.
He could be lagging, but back from his lagging status, he could just screen off the keeper for an open goal. He's
Part
just
of the plan.
omnipotent. Yeah, Pasu. Wow, what about him?
Pasu.
We remember him from the first week, right?
He came on for two minutes, got subbed off after conceding a goal. So I think disappointing. Yeah.
And he got released as well. It's a horrible season for this player as well. It's not nice to see because
I mean he's a decent player.
Yeah, exactly. He's a nice person as well. He's Nuo. Okay, we have finally moved to the champion team. Nuo.
Yep. I would put him in impressive. High impressive. Yeah. I think he's an experienced player and a really good leader. And I mean the way they managed to share that game time, Gyamba Osaka, is really nice to see. And I think as a goalkeeper, also a really solid, very safe approach. I think technical wise he could do more. He could play a little faster. 50-50 battle spams. He can improve on that. He can sometimes be a little too hesitant, but as a player overall, just very impressive. And yeah, I think if he improve a little bit, he can be too good for D2. But yeah.
I think I'm gonna make another case for Nuo is that I mean as a goal. Okay, well I personally did the Nuo that I know of is a forward. So to see him play in the GK position was actually quite a shock for me in this season. He was the top scorer for my team in last season's D1. So to see him play in that position was quite a shock, and I actually want to make a case that he would be too good for D2 based on the fact that as a goalkeeper, while it's good to have really good technical skills and all that, but I agree with you that he seems a little bit hesitant to make some plays, but I don't think he has really hindered his team that much with trying to spend a little bit more time with the ball and analyze, sometimes just absorbing the ball and keeping it safe and getting the team back to defend. I think Nuo's a combination of Nuo's consistency as a goalkeeper and his captaincy, like his captaincy role, and the game time that he's given every single one of his teammates. I think he deserved to be actually in too good for D2, because I could see him actually creating I mean we have seen him in D2. Noah is actually a really, really good player, so I would think that in the latter phase of season 3 in Division 1, he would still be one of the key players for Gyamba Osaka, and I want to make a case that he would be too good for D2 instead of high impressive. What do you think?
I think maybe if we look at Misugi's and Ui's involvements compared to Nuo's performances, I think Nuo was actually maybe on par, even more impressive season-wise. But I don't think he stands out that much. So I don't know. I would put him maybe in low to good for D2.
Well, also maybe partially because Nuo is usually just covered by a really, really good midfield too. Maybe there's also another contributing factor to his lack of involvement. I mean, I can't say lack of involvement with his 5.5 clean sheet. But yeah, I think maybe for that fact, maybe I'll put him in impressive. But yeah, this is actually a really, really tough decision to make. I really wish that there was another tier in between too good for D2 and impressive. But I think it would be fair to put him as the highest level, the player in the highest echelon of impressive.
Yeah.
So okay, we look at the next one. Next one, Sibo.
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah.
Too good. I mean, MVP. There's not much to say. Yeah, Sibo, too good for D2. Probably the top one as well. Above Broly. He's just, yeah, he just dominates everyone whenever he plays. He won the top assist.
Yep, Golden Chavi.
Yeah, Golden Chavi with like half the game time, because they were sharing game time with everyone. And he's also scored 7 goals. So yeah, I think it's like the KDB of Division 2.
Exactly. Top scorer for his team and top assist for in the whole league as well. I don't think there's much debate about that.
Yep.
Okay. Next one is Poi. Well, Poi might be a hard pick actually, because we all know how good it is, but the thing, I mean, the fact still stands that he didn't really have a lot of game time in the regular season. He has 28 minutes. He did put up a few good performance in DM, creating chance for his teammates, but we actually really wanted to see him play more. And for that fact, if I were to give him a rating, I would actually put him in maybe mid impressive, because the lack of game time probably really hurt his rating for this one particularly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think he's a player capable of playing in D1.
Yeah.
But yeah, for his lack of game time, maybe just mid impressive is good.
Alright, okay, so next one we have Rockstar. So,
Rockstar. Too good for D2.
Definitely.
He's a Rockstar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just really good player.
Probably the only player to be able to ghost kick a goalie. I'll put that clip up.
Yeah.
Ghost kick Namhai too. He's just
send him back to the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, he's just Rockstar is special player, difference maker.
Yep.
In most of the game he's played. Yeah, it's as a forward, really dominant in the corner, really good game sense, can back pass really well. But also an impressive finisher. Like, he can finish really well. Maybe not a natural finisher like Softy, but I would say like how I finish this chance. If you have seen me play, not like Hop, who's just finish every chance that he gets. But yeah, he's overall a really strong technical player. Yep. Belongs in D1.
Then next, I'll give next will be Tamakin. Well, Tamakin, let's look at his stats. Played quite a bit as well, 2 assists. And usually plays as a more defensive player. And I think we mentioned Tamakin was actually a center of a topic that Tamakin's defensive contribution was a topic that we had in the mid-season review because of his passive way of playing. But to be honest, I mean, the team looks a little bit more secure in defense with Tamakin around. It's a hard pick actually, because it's either, in my opinion, it's either a high average or a low impressive because of his I don't really know how to explain this one. What do you think?
I agree. I think it's in high average, because I think he's a really intelligent player, but technical wise, he's probably average. Good way to put it. Yeah, I think it's a bit hard to explain, but I think he reads the game really well, and his timing is good. But he can his passiveness is another problem. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Next we have Hanpen. Hanpen, in my opinion, I think he deserves a spot in mid impressive.
I agree. Yeah, maybe low impressive. I think his he's a solid player you can rely on. Technically not the most gifted, but yeah, you can put him in any position and he will give you like a 7 out of 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we might see him play better if he decides to actually use a keyboard to play instead of a controller.
Oh, really? He's playing with the controller?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Didn't know
He has
that.
a keybind with that. Maybe. I mean, it's just a suggestion. Maybe if let's say
Yeah.
you could experiment with a keyboard, maybe you could play better. Right, Vecino. Wow, Vecino. What a season he had.
Oh, he's too good for D2, but yeah, maybe low too good for D2. He's a little sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this season he's shown quite a lot of consistency in his gameplay.
Yes.
He's another difference maker in the team. When he came on, the game changes. I think tactically he could be a little better, but he's one of the strongest player I've seen. Like the way he just wins every single 50-50. Like even when I'm playing him, I have to be aware of that. I have to like be extra careful with him. So yeah, really good player.
Yep. Dude,
Funny guy as well.
I can't really disagree with that, and yeah, I mean the point is that well, he hasn't really showed that in the league, but if you've known how he usually plays like in auto room, it might be a consideration for inconsistency, but he has really when the time comes to to be serious and put in a proper performance, he has really delivered, and I really respect him for that. So he deserves to be in that spot, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah. Next one, minor level or minorly. Minorly. I don't know how. I don't really know how to pronounce that, but yeah. He hasn't really played much actually. I probably played 2 games or 4 games. 28 minutes. How many?
Yep.
28 minutes, right? No, I didn't read that wrong. 42. Yeah.
But this is quite a bit. Yeah.
42 minutes and 3 goals. So 42 is the equivalent of 3 full matches, if I'm not wrong. But knowing Nuvo, if there's a lot of rotations, actually means he's actually turned up for quite a number of games and getting subbed in maybe for half a full match. It's like just 7 minutes in, and 3 goals from that. I think is looking pretty impressive for me, to be honest. Like I don't think we really have much of an impression of minor level as in terms of his contributions and like how he does on the pitch, but I guess as a collective effort, to bring his team to victory, I feel like minor level should deserve at least an impressive a place in impressive, in my opinion. How about you?
I agree. Yeah, I think when he shows up, I think he's actually maybe above Hanpen and Tamaki in the pecking order. But yeah, he's solid player. Can be a starter for Gyamba Osaka.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and now last 5. Okay, this one Danbis. Well, or I mean but yeah, if you all didn't know, Danbis is actually just just Mirilage's what's it called, alias. But yeah, we know that he's banned, and we we still have to stay impartial on his performance for Division 2. So. Right. So in my opinion, I think Danbis or Mirilage could do better if he. This is for Redrum, by the way, for his season with Redrum. He could have done better if he was a lot more clinical. There were a lot of chances. I think a few of those regular seasons where there was a 2v1 chance, and which usually should be a goal, but he either takes too long to pass to his teammate or just makes the wrong decision to go on his own. And I gonna maybe probably gonna say that it's down to maybe inexperience as a 4v4 player, and I don't think there's really much to say about that, because Danbis didn't really do much, in my opinion, for Redrum. It was mostly carried by Hoovy, One Non. That's weird to say, carried by One Non, and Rolly. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. without the knowledge that he's mirilage, I think the performance of the game against Chanel when he got subbed on and they conceded comes to mind.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's a solid player. Yeah.
Yeah, and it remains something to see because I mean, sure, like he's deceived everyone as a random Hong Kong player that turned out of nowhere,
Yeah.
which none of the Hong Kong players in Hex Voyager knows who this person is. It just takes his name, chuck it on the Google Translate, and gave the Chinese name of it. And yeah, it definitely could be better, but once again, we probably won't really be able to see that, and I don't think we'll miss him, to be honest. And
Nope.
yeah,
Not at all.
we have a lot of more promising young players from Thailand to look forward to. Maybe even Vietnam actually. Actually, I think the Vietnamese community is quite an interesting one. We have our own personal opinions on how the Vietnamese player usually play, but we can definitely agree that the Vietnamese player that have actually played in this season's Division 2 is has raised a lot of eyebrows. Actually, played really well as a team.
They came really close to qualifying
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the promotion. Yeah.
Yep.
Roughed it
Next, mirilage himself. He has played one single half actually, if you remember, as a free agent for Violent Kingdom when Liam was still around. Not sure
Yeah,
if you still remember that. But based on that performance there, I guess nothing short of disappointing. Actually,
Yeah.
did nothing at
Yeah.
all. And
it's a
on
waste
top of
of
that,
space. Yeah.
on top of that, was really unwilling to follow the team's preset tactics there.
Yeah, I would say D3 bench warmer, but I don't think any D3 team would even take him. But yeah,
He
just
didn't.
maybe
Yeah, he didn't get drafted at all.
maybe
I realized,
they would leave him in the the no tier list one, right? Yeah, with Ian.
Well,
Doesn't deserve to be rated.
well,
I don't know.
Well,
Up to you.
I'm gonna put it
Probably,
there just based on
yeah.
the fact that he has actually spent some game time there. But that performance itself, I mean, I don't think any captain will be willing to get a play field a player who is unwilling to follow team tactics. So
it's quite a dated screenshot, but maybe I can find it. But it's from the last season's the stats on one of his games for the Bazooka's team. But he had like 40 touches in 2 passes. That's really funny. Yeah.
Right, Penguin actually had made an appearance for Crazy Gang the first week because I think Roy was unable to field a full team actually, so the whole team ended up getting a yellow card for delaying the league. So but I can't really remember how he did for
Actually, I remember a bit. I think he did alright. Like he didn't do too badly for a free agent.
Yeah.
So I would put him in low average.
Yeah. Probably want to see him play more actually, because he's a fellow Malaysian player. I wouldn't say fellow Malaysian player. He's a Malaysian
I think he
player,
deserves.
neighbor,
He deserves to be drafted over some players.
Yes. Okay. Right. Last one actually. We're just gonna ignore Teddy because he didn't really play. Bamsam. It's not. Well, he played for Royal Academy. I think in match week 4 as a free agent. I think.
I've got no recollection of him.
Yeah. Okay. So this one I'll just give him a rating. It's just I think he just belong in average. I think he did score. He did contribute. I think he didn't. Yeah, he made it. Okay. I think we spelled it wrongly. It's Bamsam as in BAMSAM.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's my fault because I gave the wrong spelling. Yeah, but Bamsam, he's made an assist. I think he did alright, and like similarly, he probably deserved to be drafted to a team. I think he only signed up during the mid-season registration, but none of the teams signed him as a free agent. So as a free transfer. But yeah, I think it would be nice to see him play more. And well, okay, well, I'm gonna call it. I'm not sure if bamsam is um another alias, to be fair, for yeah. I mean, we could check that actually. I don't think we have yeah, we probably have to to dig out all the logs again to,
Yeah.
to look at it. Because when he played, he had like 90 ping, pretty much the same ping as Mirilage actually.
Alright.
But we are not sure about the IP. Just maybe have to check the logs again. But I will have to say for that game, whether or not he's a Mirilage or a Vietnamese player. I mean, on the anti-fake, it happened on the week where I think it's week 5 actually, where the system went down, the forum went down, and
Right.
unable to verify. So the anti-fake that was given was actually by a legit player, but I'm not sure whether it was like, you know, he turned up, he just used, you know, just got he just took the screenshot from Mirilage's desktop or whatever. I'm not gonna speculate any of that, but based on that performance, he was alright. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, then I think that's most of the players here. The rest of the players are either haven't played a single minute or hasn't been drafted to any team. So yeah, that's all we have, and he had been a really good season actually.
Yeah.
For this one. And yeah, I want to just put in just a little bit more on the bigger things that happened this season, mostly involving Softy and Mirilage. There is a fine line, I think, between trash talking and, you know, stepping over the line with you know, racism and just harassment in general. I don't think we had an issue even with Matsui in last season. Matsui, if any of us remembered, he is not the player with the best of temper. I mean, no players actually likes to lose, and I think after one of the games against Gentlemen in season 2, he actually I think lashed out at the Thai players, the Gentlemen players, and I think the Thai community as well, for accusing them of using macros and stuff like that. But that's all he did actually. You know, he's always okay. It's always alright to have a little bit of trash talk, you know, to feel, just to vent your anger a little bit, but you know, to you know, step over the line and, you know, start using racial slurs and harassment. I think for Killian's case especially is something that we don't tolerate against. So I don't know why it became problem. It's just happened to be Softy and Mirilage when they entered this season. It became a problem. I don't think this is a problem even in among the other H-bands player that joined our league. Deuza, Maxi, even Chad in season 2, and yeah, there are a few others. Yeah, NZK as well. Chifo. Yeah, none of these players have caused any issues, so I don't think they really have any excuse. Mirilage and Softy. Yep. And there's
Yeah, I think they're just a special case.
yeah.
Yeah, just a few bad apples. But yeah, I think I haven't played in the Australian hackball for I say most of my career. I think most of the players are actually really nice. They can sometimes be a bit how do I say that? They like to banter a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, but mostly it's just banter and it's not malicious or anything. So yeah, most players are actually really nice. So yeah, I don't want to give Australians a bad name here.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
We probably gonna just be a lot more vigilant, I guess, in non-Asian signups actually from next season onwards. I mean, if you are unhappy with that, you all can blame these two guys. But yeah, we have I mean, it's all credits to Lollipop actually for setting up the room for a better verification, and we were able to, you know, have let Mirilage have a further involvement in the finals. But yeah, I mean, they could go mouth off all they want about they can mouth off all they want about, you know, if they had more, they would be the best player if they hadn't get banned. But well, I mean, just don't get banned. Just be a normal person. Yeah, nothing much to say about them. I shouldn't really. They've gotten all the attention they wanted, and yeah, they could have their fun in H bands. I guess I'm not sure whether H bands is gonna adopt a similar approach against them, but it's not. I wouldn't be surprised if they receive the same treatment there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean we've spoken enough, and this is the final tier list that we have, and it's a really good season, and let's see how many of these players gonna make their appearance in D1. So all of these players, just to update, all of the teams, including D2, the D2 promoted the promoted teams from D2 have their team reset to their base 4 again for PIOT. So most of the players here would go back to the draft pool if they do sign up again for D1, and the sign up it's gonna be the same format actually. Every team's gonna draft 5 players each. So 100 coins per team, and 5 players each, 20 coins on average per player. And
You should have an option for them to keep the whole squad. Because I imagine maybe the Japanese team would like to keep most of their players.
True. I would think so that I would think so too, but I think it might be a little bit how do I put it, unfair for other teams that actually wanted to actually team up with some of the players that are on that team. So I think it is only fair if everyone resets. And maybe they do have the freedom to keep 3 of their players. The captain has the freedom to keep 3 of their players that they really want to play with, and if they really want these players on their team again, they could just bid for them in the auction draft. So I think it's just keeping it fair and making I mean it's kind of like you make it look like we are actually trying to separate them, but all we are doing is just keeping a level playing field for every team to have a fair chance to get a player that they want. And yeah, I think with this we could look forward to a pretty exciting D1, because D1 is gonna be a whole new level from D2. Definitely we're not gonna see a lot of this weird stuff, weird goals happening, or the drama that we are seeing. I mean, it's definitely D2 has definitely been entertaining to say the least, but D1 would be something that everyone has very high expectations for the players. We will actually start the draft in late January, probably after the Chinese Lunar New Year. That could make it probably 29th. That's just tentative actually, so it's late January.
There'll be more information later.
Yep. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I could say so far. And once again, thank you all for tuning in. With this we'll just officially close off a pretty good season for Division 2.
Yeah, happy holiday season.
Yep, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yep.